Hello, hello. So these are the apps again, and now let's take a look at the Joy app. Well, Convex Value Original, one of my favorites. So, what's the Joy app? We click on it there. The default one is just Apple and Open Interest. So, how to think about the Joy app? It's imagine a 3D surface that is, and this app is live by the way, as of most of these apps. So you can see price changing right there over market. Um, so imagine a 3D surface where this up here is the closest to you, the nearest term expiration, and this we go further away, and strikes are on the bottom, expirations are here, and this is like a 3D surface of whatever parameter you're looking at, right? So the calls are yellow, puts are blue, and these bars here are the aggregates. So, what can we see from this? This is open interest. There's some open interest for August 11. There's some high open interest here on strike 220, on calls strike 220. Then on August 18, there's some put open interest on strike 115, on 170, and some call open interest on 190. Here there's this huge open interest. This is, what strike is this? This is 135 on the December expiration. And these bars here, these tell you the aggregates. So in aggregate, there's nearly twice as many calls than puts. In here on December, there's a little bit more puts than calls. And that's that. Now, you can configure this in many ways. Well, one of them is change the ticker. The other one's change the parameter. I mean, we have like a crazy amount of parameters here, like volume, volatility, gamma's volume for the last 5 minutes, gamma exposure. I mean, it's a whole thing. So, but how to command this module? Well, one of the ways you can do it is, well, you can do it all through here via the control panel. So one of the major things to do is select the expirations, right? So you do exp equals 1 to 5, and that's going to give you just the expirations from 1st to the 5th. Again, you can do this via the control panel. Look at that, expiration 1 through 5. Let's do expiration 1 through 3, right? And we're looking at open interest. Let's actually see some, volume, right? That's a cooler one. Okay, so this is just for the first 3 expirations. And now, since there's more space here on these sides, remember before there wasn't really any, oh, did you see what I did there? So Command Shift gives you the previously entered command, or you can click here. Now I want to change, instead of expiration 1 to 3, 1 to 10. Now, let's do 1 to 20 then. Okay, notice how here you don't see anything, and then here you don't see anything. That's because there just isn't enough space to display this stuff. But if you look at, say, expiration, oh, did you see that trade happening right there? Expiration 1 to 3. Here you can see this and the numbers that are appearing over here. So these numbers here, that's the total amount, 275K volume in these calls, 135K in puts, and the bottom one is the sum of these two. And then when I go with my mouse, you're going to see that these numbers here are changing, and that gives me the value for whatever strike I'm hovering over. So if we look at here, strike 200, on the August 18 expiration, there's 18. I'm looking at in the middle of the screen to the right. There's 18 puts and 3.9K calls, and that's what those numbers give you. Now, another thing you can do is you can flip this bad boy. Let's flip it. See. So flip, it turns all the puts into negatives. This is quite useful, especially if you're looking at gamma exposure. This is pretty useful. It tells you, the puts as negative, and that's, or just to visualize things, it's pretty useful. Another thing you can do is aggregate them. So this will aggregate whatever you've selected. So in the gamma exposure for expirations 1 through 5 is, this. The gamma exposures for all of the expirations is this, cool. Now, what if, let's go back to 1 to 5. Now, what if I want to see the net? Well, you add net, and then you see the red is the calls minus the puts. So this is a net gamma here, net negative here, and this bar here, it's positive. That's why it's green. Let's find another one that isn't green. Let's do the at. Oh, there we go. MHCP at, this is negative. Negative gamma. If you only want to see negative gamma, you, oops, not own it, but I own it. There you see just negative gamma. Now what else, what other things can we do, right? So you can make it so that, let's unflip it. You can make it so that you don't see the bars. So bars false, now you don't see the bars. Or if you don't want to see the curve and you only want to see the bars, curve F, now you only see the bars. If you don't want to see the sum bars F. If you want to make this, you know, to get rid of the margins, and this is really useful when, like, let's say you're looking at a bunch of different, you know, let's look at these OIs. Here, if you do NM, it's quite cool because it gets rid of the margin and it becomes easier to see. And if you're noticing, you know, I can look at a bunch of different parameters with this at symbol here. And then when I just change this to like NVIDIA, this is going to change it on all of them, which is quite cool. Let's close this. And what else? So all of these commands, you can reach them here. So, you know, all the things that I did, the curve, the ONet, the net, the bars, aggregate, expiration, that is all, you can do it here. Like one of the, for example, the expiration and the range one are very good because, say, let's do volume of buys and sells for EXP 1 equals 1 through 10. Let's look at SPX, right? Wait, let's look at NVIDIA again. So NVIDIA, a bunch of calls sold, out of the money calls sold, put spot. This is a spread right there on September 15. This is, you know, out of the money calls on 8/11. Now let's look at SPX. Now here you can do the range parameter to only show you like 10% above or below spot. So that's quite useful too. Look at this, look at these puts over here. A lot of call selling, put selling, here put buying, and that's that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all the functionality. And you got to play around with all this stuff and with all of these parameters. Like look at gamma. I mean, gamma is so cool to look at. I love it. Yeah, that's gamma, and you gotta see what works because different things work for different purposes. So play around. You know, there's a ton of these parameters. This is like very crazy. The amount of stuff that we're calculating. I recommend that you check it out. All right, that's it for the Joy module. Thanks for home. Thanks for checking us out. Oops.